everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my Makeup Collection Monday series where I show you guys all the makeup that I'm going to be using this week. So I tried this week mostly to use E.L.F. makeup products. If you're not familiar with the brand, it's a really affordable brand. They're carried at Target, Walmart, Ulta. I haven't seen them at anywhere like Walgreens or Rite Aid or CVS or anything like that, but they're readily available, super affordable makeup. They have some awesome makeup. They have a few duds, which I don't think any of the makeup products from them I'm going to be using this week are ones that I don't like. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So unfortunately I don't have any primers by E.L.F. So I'm going to be using a couple samples that I've gotten in like Ipsy or Sephora play bags. So I'm going to be using this Josie Maran. It's the Surreal Skin Argan Finishing Balm. I've used this quite a few times. It's very weird. It says that you can use it underneath or on top of makeup. I don't think you can use it on top of makeup because every time I've tried that, it's like made my makeup break apart, but it is a really nice, nourishing feeling kind of primer. I don't use a lot of it and I don't use it all over my face. I just kind of use it in spots that I'm a little bit more dry, and it does seem to kind of minimize the appearance of pores. And then I'm also going to test out the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I've never tried this, have no idea what it's going to be like, so I'll be using that this week. For concealers, of course, I've got my trusty NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector. I think I said this last week. I don't use this every single day. If I have the time, I'll use this, but it's not a necessity to me. It is that peachy kind of salmon-y tone, but it's a lighter color. I wear mine in the shade Light. Then for foundation, I'm going to be using my E.L.F. I think they're called like the Moisturizing Foundation Sticks. I wouldn't necessarily say these are moisturizing by any means, but I think that they would work for dry skin. They do sometimes cling to my dry patches if I get too much of them. You have to be careful with these. I think with all stick foundations, you have to be careful not to use too much because it's really easy to just kind of overload your face with the product and you can't really take any back because you've already put it on there, so just go easy with these. I have mine in the shade Ivory and Nude. Then I don't have an actual concealer from E.L.F., so I'm going to be using the Milani Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. This is a newer concealer. I've tested it out maybe 3 or 4 times. I really do like the way that it looks. I don't like the applicator though, so I wish that it has like this weird kind of sponge tip to it, but it's a really hard sponge. It's not like the one on the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. It's a lot harder, so I don't love applying it, but it does look really nice on the skin, and I have mine in the shade Fair. Alright, onto face products. I'm breaking out 3 of my E.L.F. palettes. The first one I have that I'm going to be using is the Cream Contour Palette. So you get 4 contour shades, or 3 contour shades and then like a highlighting, brightening shade. And I do really like this. I basically only use this shade right here because the last 2 are too dark for me, but I think it's a great palette, like if you have a makeup kit or if you do makeup on other people, because you can get use out of all these. I do sometimes use this shade as a bronzer and this one as a concealer, so I might use that for that this week, but I'm mostly just going to be using it for contour. Then I have my trusty original E.L.F. blush palette. You get 4 shades in here. This is the light one. I don't know if you can see, one of these shades has a little bit of shimmer in it. And then you have a hot pink, a light pink, and kind of a terracotta-y kind of bronze shade, which I really love. You can use this as a really warm tone bronzer, but I think it's beautiful on those days you don't have time to wear bronzer and you just want something all over your cheeks. This is a really good option for that. They're really blendable, super pigmented. You have to be careful, but they're awesome quality. And then I'm going to be using the E.L.F. highlighting palette. Well, I guess it's called the Illuminating palette. You get 4 shades in here. These are kind of powdery highlighters. They're definitely not like that buttery smooth texture. And when you swatch them, you kind of feel like not a lot is coming off, like there's not a lot of sheen, like even when it just kind of looks like a powder, but once you get it on like the tops of the cheekbones, it really does pack a punch. Is this my favorite highlighting palette? No, and I probably will go ahead and throw it in my kit just because I haven't used it that much and I'm going to be doing quite a bit of makeup for like weddings and stuff in the future, and I think this is a versatile palette because you get lots of different shades, some for a little bit deeper skin tones, and you have like a white shade almost for like a lighter skin tone, so I think it is good for that. And then I'm also going to try to incorporate my highlighting dewy drops. I talked about these in like the best drugstore highlighter video that I did. This is an awesome liquid highlighter. And sometimes like I'll mix it in with my liquid foundation. Since I'm not using a liquid foundation this week, I'll probably end up just using this as like a targeted highlighter, not necessarily all over my face. So I'll be using that. I'm also going to be using this little powder by LA Colors. This is actually like a face setting powder, but I have mine in the shade Tan. And I'm just going to kind of use this to set that cream contour into place. I don't know if I'll use it every single day, but on the days when I have like extra time or if I'm doing more like full face, then I'll probably end up using this. I really do like it. A good tip, if you can't find a bronzer shade that works for you, try a face powder, because oftentimes those are super blendable and they come in a variety of shades, so you should be able to find your color. So I really like this one. It's a nice natural looking bronzer on me. To set the entire face, I'm using the E.L.F. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. I've already hit pan on this, even though I haven't had it all that long. I love this stuff. It's awesome to set under your eyes with. It's awesome to use all over the face as like a light dusting of powder. So highly recommend this. I think it's one of their cheaper powders. It's only about $2. And I rave about the E.L.F. Beautifully Bare Finishing Powder. That's the one that's in the like mirrored packaging that I've talked about, and that's really good too, but I think this is just as good, and it's probably $4 cheaper. Now of course the other one is only $6, and you do get a mirror in that one, which I like. This one doesn't come with a mirror, so that's probably why it's more expensive, but they're almost the exact same formula, so definitely try this one out. Alright, moving on to eyes. So for brows, I'm using one of my favorite combinations. I'm using the E.L.F. Lock On Liner and Brow Cream in the shade Medium Brown. And then I'm also going to be using the E.L.F. Brow Pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. So I really love this. I've used these for a long time now. The E.L.F. Brow Pencil has kind of a, it's like a medium fine tip. So it's not super wide and bulky. So if you have thin brows, you can use this. Like I have thin brows, but it also fills them in a lot quicker than like Anastasia Brow is, or like a NYX Micro Brow would. So I love this combo, and it's super quick and easy for me to do in the morning. Then I'm going to use the Maybelline Great Lash Clear Mascara to set them into place. Onto eyes. I used to have an E.L.F. eyeshadow primer that I did like a lot, but I ended up using it up, so of course you guys know the drill. The Milani eyeshadow primer, my all-time favorite. A couple weeks ago I incorporated one of these matte liquid eyeshadows from E.L.F. in the shade Blushing Rose, I think it's called, but this week I'm going to use the one in the shade Nude Linen. This is just kind of a light wash of color on my lids because it's just a couple shades darker than my actual skin tone, so super easy to use on those days that I just need to get ready in a hurry. And then I also have my E.L.F. Smudge Pot. So these are kind of similar to like your MAC Paint Pot or like the Maybelline color tattoos. I have mine in the shade Cruisin Chic. This is what it looks like. It's a really pretty kind of brownie taupe color. Awesome for all over the lid. Like I said about the liquid matte eyeshadow, this is also perfect for like an everyday, I just need to get out of the door, blend it up into the crease, you're good to go kind of color. Then I know I used this a couple weeks ago also, but I'm going to be using the E.L.F. Original Matte from Matte palette just because I don't have any other palette right now from E.L.F. I used to have another eyeshadow palette and I went ahead and decluttered it just because I wasn't getting use out of it, but I do really love this quality. I want to get both the other Matte for Matte palettes, but I've kind of told myself not to buy any more eyeshadow palettes because I have way too many, but the quality on them is so great, that's why I want the other ones, so I'm going to be using that. And then for like maybe a little bit of shimmer, I haven't even really used this palette on my eyes yet. This is by Broadway Colors. It's their eyeshadow kit, and this one is in the shade Metis. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it has these beautiful warm tone colors. This brand is available at Dollar General, at least that's the only place I've seen it. I got it for these two colors right here, and from just swatching them, of course, they're the most disappointing colors, but this lavender and deep purple is really pretty, and it's got some nice neutral colors. Now from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like any of them are matte completely, but some of them just have barely any sheen, so I think they'll still work in the crease, so I'm going to try to incorporate that this week. And then for mascara, I also don't have an E.L.F. mascara. I've only tried maybe 2 different E.L.F. mascaras and neither of them worked. I know that they just launched a whole like kind of new collection of mascaras, so anxious to maybe try those and see if they work any better. But for this week, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, which is my all-time favorite from the drugstore. This one is starting to dry out, so I'm trying to use up all of the juice inside there so I don't waste any of it before I go and buy a new one. Alright, on to lips. 2 lip care products I'm going to be using from E.L.F. One is the lip scrub that comes in the little lipstick bullet kind of form. I really love these. They're super inexpensive and they work really well. This one is in the shade, I guess, Mint Maniac, but it basically just has a taste to it. Any of these are really good. I suggest putting on a lip balm and then using them. That's how I use every single lip scrub. I find that if you go in with a lip scrub on dry lips, it ends up just kind of tearing out your lips and not really doing its job. So that's how I use that one. And then I also have my E.L.F. lip color remover. This is great for liquid lipsticks, especially like the new Maybelline Superstay ink liquid lipsticks. I have 2 shades. I have Heroine and Loyalist, and those need this to remove them. They don't come off with just a normal makeup wipe. You need like an oil-based remover or like one of these liquid lipstick removers, and this one works really well, and I think it was like maybe $2. And then as far as lipsticks go, I have 3 from E.L.F. and then 1 that's not, so I'll start with the one that isn't. This is one of the Wet n Wild Megalast Liquid Catsuit Matte Liquid Lipsticks, and this one is in the shade Rebel Rose. It's a beautiful kind of mauve-y neutral tone. Love this one for every day. You definitely need one of those like liquid lipstick removers for this one, or an oil-based remover to get this one off too. Staying power is awesome on these. It will last me all day long. Now from E.L.F. I have the Luscious liquid lipstick, and this is not a liquid lipstick that's going to dry down. It's just kind of like a gloss, and it's not even super pigmented, so I would just call it a gloss basically. And this is in the shade Cherry Tart. You can see it's kind of that pretty berry red shade. It's like not super loud in your face, so you can still wear it on an everyday, but it also kind of packs a punch if you want to brighten up, you know, your look for that day if you're going really neutral on the eyes or something like that. So I like this one. It's really easy to wear. And then I have 2 of the E.L.F. like matte lip crayons. I have one in the shade Tea Rose and one in the shade Wine. Now Tea Rose is kind of like a more cool tone kind of lavender color. I don't know if it'll show up there. I might do a swatch for you guys. There you can see it. It's kind of like a purpley mauve. So it's a very different color. And I normally pair this. I'll put like a warm lip liner on underneath it to kind of warm it up a little bit, because if I just wear it by itself, I kind of look like I have dead lips, like I'm a dead person. So then I also have the shade Wine, like I said, and this is a really pretty kind of berry red color. Also really easy to wear on the daily because it's not that super loud bright red. It does have that berry undertone in it, so really love both of those. The quality of these is really great. They're not the most long-lasting lipsticks I own, but they are pretty long-lasting. They don't last through a meal or anything, but they look really nice on the lips. And then lastly, I'm going to be using the E.L.F. Makeup Mist and Set. This is one of my favorites. I think this was the very first setting spray I ever tried. This one I only have about this much left in there, so I'll probably end up using it up this week. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. But this is really good, really inexpensive. It does make my makeup last all day. I wouldn't say it's the most long-wearing setting spray I own, but it does feel really nice on the skin. The mister is really nice, which is a huge bonus, especially for such a cheap brand. I've tried so many setting sprays where the spritzer just like smacks you in the face and it has those droplets all over your face, which ruin your makeup, and this one is really good. So I'm going to be using that this week. Alright you guys, so that's all the makeup I'm going to be using this week. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave so you don't miss out on future videos. I upload every Monday and Thursday now. Just with my busy schedule, I had to kind of cut back on the uploads, but I hope that you guys are tuning in and you love this series. Let me know in the comments if you're liking it so far, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!